hear anybody else? Whiskey 4 who? W4 Echo Delta Fox. I've got you. Who else? Okay, M3 PRL Dave or David, it's your turn.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I had a blast. I can get to the accused authority at the start of it. And I just had a week before. And unfortunately, the CW weekend, we had some of these storms. I just every time I talk about going out and trying to turn on the radio, I connect all the antennas again. True. So, and sometimes that happens. But it was a blast. I had a great time. But you guys I'm looking forward to the next one. 7-3 all. N3DRL. Back to the truth.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. That's great. That's fantastic. M3 Whiskey, Zanzibar Radio. My other neighbor, Chuck, go ahead.
Good evening, Jim, and everybody on the net. That was the first time I posted a score since 2017. So I am so happy to finally get back in the chair again and start working. And I just wanted to let you know, the check-in that you just got, W4EDF, is Ed from Alexandria. This will be his first meeting. Ed is a operator down in Alexandria that's finally starting to get his station built up. I've been working with him over the past couple years to get his station built up. So everybody can welcome Ed in. And Ed is trying to be an avid CW operator. So in the days of FT8, here's somebody that wants to be a CW operator. So with that said, back to you, Jim, N3WZR.
All right. Good job, Chuck. Nice recruitment effort. And well, that means that Ed, since you're a guest, you're next. W4 Echo Delta Fox, good evening. Okay. What are you using to study CW? Are you just getting on the air and practicing? Okay, excellent. Well, yeah, getting on the radio is a great way to learn. Getting into a few contests will improve your code speed too, at least for call signs and reports. Well, welcome to the group. I'm glad that Chuck invited you, and we'll see about getting you your second meeting as well. Are there any other check-ins for the PVRC and FriendsNet? Whiskey X-Ray 3 Bravo.
Whiskey Bravo 2, Zulu, Alpha Bravo.
Okay, Eric, W2DQ, and Todd, WB2ZAB. That's 2 2s in a row. Anybody else? W3DQ. Okay, I didn't want to bust your call twice. Anyone else? Okay, then Art, K3KU, your turn.
Well, I already reported my NATP efforts on CW. First of all, everybody's got to know I don't start till after nightfall Saturday night. So it's kind of merciful. There's only about 4 to 5 hours left in the summertime. CW, I had a lot of fun, and my memory failed on the log deadline. So you went in the next morning, I guess it turns into a check log. On phone, I saw people posting on thunderstorms and fantastic conditions, and I didn't have either of that here. I had a lot of struggle, and even took off about 45 minutes in the middle of my 5 hours to just a mental health break. But I did my part for the club, and I guess I had some fun, and it was nice to work with a lot of the guys.
You should have operated during the afternoon.
There's external constraints on that.
Okay. Yeah, they were short skip almost the whole contest. Back to you, Jim.
Yeah. By the way, I've noticed when I do the Zoom online meetings and classes, I always seem to be first in the pile-up when I want to make a comment. I did notice when I got on 20 at the beginning of NAQP phone that it was still open with short skip, and often is completely dead by the time I get on program and after hours or after sunset. Thank you. WF3B, K3KU.
Yeah, very good. I'm familiar with those self-imposed external restraints. WA3AER, go ahead, Ted.
Hey, good evening, Jim, WX3B in the group. This is WA3AER. Well, let's see, I in the both NA2P, CW and sideband this past weekend, the sideband one. Worked a number of PVRC folks, and also several on the CW ops guys that I work weekly on the CWPs, and we were all kidding each other about having somehow found microphones and learn how to use them again. I want to know how Tim made 900 contacts. Actually, I think I know how he did it with his antenna and the fact of how soon it is giving what the phone. I think I made, I don't know, 70 or 80 or 90 contacts on Maryland CISO party, strictly on CW. It was a tough grind. I don't know, but I'm sticking with it. Thanks for this evening, Jim. And yeah, I've got another meeting to run in about 15 minutes. So listen for you and then now out. WX3B in the net, WH3AER.
Okay, Ted, nice to hear you. Any other check-ins for the Potomac Valley Radio Club? That's WX3B. Is that Al, K3ZE?
How are you, Jim?
Man, it's nice to hear you. Anybody else?
W3DQ is calling it.
Yeah, he is. I've got him on the list. M3HE, hi, Joe. I can hear you just fine.
I bet we can.
Okay, let's see. Dave, K4S, I think he's checked in and out, right? Okay, how about you, Rico, W3RCO?
Hi, this is Rico, W3RCO. I was happy. I just wasn't quite sure whether I was going to be in the contest at all this weekend. The whole prep together just 1 hour on Saturday afternoon, and I was only on 20 meters. And got about 10 contacts on there. I know it's not much, but it's something. So, anyway, I got to run with the radio. I had a good time. It was fairly clear at that time. And like I said, I had a lot of fun. So, back to you, Jim. 73 Rico, W3RCO.
Yeah, great, Rico. Well, just remember, even a 22 QSO log is a participant multiplier, too. And believe it or not, one of the ways we may trounce the competition is because of a raw number of people operating. Alan, M3DUE, good evening.
WX3B and the net is M3DUE. Hi, Jim and everybody. I did enter the NAQP sideband this weekend, and it's fun to watch the K and 10 actually show up and I can put some score on. I'm looking at the July of CQ magazine, and in it has the scores for the WPX Reading Club scores, and there's 2 entries for PVRC. One of them had 59 entries and a score, followed by the Northern California Contest Club, and then followed by another PVRC with 73 entries. And when I did some research, I found out that the first one with 59 entries was actually the one from 2019. Whoever invented it didn't do that good a job, and that's all I have to say. 7-3, everybody. M3DUE.
Okay, that's an interesting catch, Alan. Thanks. M3ALN. Good evening, Alan.
Yeah, hi James, and welcome to all the PRC members and the friends too. Nice to have some new people here. I messed around in the NA2P. I did fair. I thought conditions were okay,
And it seems like each contest I keep learning a little bit more. So, and one thing during this pandemic, I've been working on my station. I've had issues with my Yaesu Quadra amplifier. And then I've had some issues with my K3, some weird errors. And then I got on YouTube and looked at RF and this and that, and then I bought a ton of torides and put them everywhere. And bingo, all my issues are gone. So it's pretty awesome to operate with none of the problems I was having with my amplifier and with my K3. So that's been really great because I cannot stand operating if there's something wrong going on. You know, it's got to be perfect or I ain't going to do it. So anyway, hey, thanks a lot for doing the net, James. Good job. Back to you. Hey, John, gotcha. And for Mike, very good. And Alan, congratulations on the RFI gremlin and toroiding it into submission. That's great news. Let's see. I think I have a typo in my log. There's no KI4 off frequency, is there? Okay, if I miss one of you, you're going to have to politely let me know. K3 Japan Tango. Jerry, go ahead. Jerry, are you still on frequency? Kilowatt 3 Juliet Tango?
Which is really remarkable for me because my voice is out primarily CW, but had a good weekend, enjoyed it, and had a great run on 20 meters, and 80 meters didn't work, 15 didn't work, but all the fun there, but I put in 9 hours.
Okay, excellent job. That's really great. And going back to West Virginia again to NAII, Jeff.
Good evening, all, and the comment, negativity on the American DC QSO party. I've operated every regional, state, provincial QSO party this year, and they call it the Fun Party. It was second from the beach fun. And the main thing is just not that much activity, and it seems like when I checked 40, there was very little activity there, even though I could work a lot of people in Maryland, even if they're skipping over. I did most of my contacts were on 75 phone, and I ended up with about 18, and very little time. I didn't spend that much time because I could just tell it wasn't worth being there. But the scoring system for the party is very complex. You have to complete a summary sheet, which is a pain in the butt, and the county abbreviations were designed by a sadist, I'm sure. It's really if Frederick County is that's ridiculous. I don't know who came up with that idea. But at any rate, I should kick myself in the butt for the NAQP. I ended up with 1,274 QSOs, 213 multipliers for a score of 271K. And that is in fourth place in the single op. This thing's on 3830. And that was just in 9 hours. I worked an average of 142 Qs an hour. I didn't realize my rate was that good. When I first came on 40, I hit 200 contacts in about an hour and 13 minutes. That was the fastest rate of the contest. I was kind of watching it there. It was going so well. And 10 meters, 154 contacts, 26 volts, 15, 184, and 39 volts. 20 was 432 and 51 volts. And so the short skip was fantastic on all those bands, and it was there for hours on end. I'd have to say that we were very, very lucky. The static level was low in the low band, Absorption was kind of high on the baby. The range wasn't that good, but certainly the noise was pretty low. And it was just very unusual to be able to work the close-in stations on 20 and even 10 meters. I worked Ohio on two, and I worked in South Carolina on two, and I think I may have worked North Carolina, so I guess you some idea. And Kentucky too. Back to you, Tim, from 8II.
Okay, it's KK3F. How you doing? Well, I got you. I had you the list here. Jeff, I only have one question for you. Did you turn your log in yet?
Not yet. I haven't even posted on 3830, but it will definitely go in there, baby.
I didn't see it on the reflector. I think you beat our absent K3 Mickey Mouse for that score.
I don't know whether he's posted it or not yet, but yes. Let's see here. KWA was third, and he was only a 2K ahead of me. So I could have easily touched him, and but probably could have easily top 300K. I don't know exactly how close to the Kings could have come to the winner there.
Okay. Well, that's an amazing score. I don't think even if I operated for all 12 hours, I'm not sure I would have passed that score. Jeez, that's great. Anyone else? I got KK3F. Anybody else for PVRC that hasn't given me their call? WX3B. Okay, Tom Valenti, K3AJ. Good evening. Calling at the perfect time. K3 Alpha Juliet, Tom, are you here? We will circle back to him. Mike Lift, WA3MJ, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Jim and all. This is Mike from that area. Didn't do a whole heck of a lot of contesting since the last meeting. I did the NAQP sideband this past weekend, enjoyed that. I kind of use that as a gauging for my equipment, what it will do. I was across 80 through 10. It was nice to hear some activity finally on 10. 15. Usually those bands are dead for me at this time of the year, or this time of this cycle, I guess. But we got in there and had some fun, and just experimented with the demos and trying different things. And I was not too serious about it. I did better than I thought I would do, so at least turned on a reasonable score. Other than that, most of my activity has been FT8. I'm trying to finish up the PXCC. I got 2 countries left. I'm trying to get that polished off, and I'll tell you, I've gotten that in. I've been looking for a week now, trying to get those last 2, and haven't done it yet. And that been really rough. So I finished up here in the last month or 2. So I'm trying to finish that out in a few other bands. So busy during the week. On the weekends, my family commitments kind of limit me to what I can do for contests. But I do get on the case stuff with spend more time on the weekdays. So that's about it for me. And enjoying it, and I'm setting up plans for on the fall for equipment upgrades. So that's KCM, WA3AJ.
Okay. That sounds great, Mike. So your operating is mostly during the week. That's cool. There's less competition there, too. But unfortunately, the contests are on the weekends. K3EW, Phil, you're next. Good evening.
Good evening to everybody. This is K3EW. I operated in the NAQP CWSSB. That did very, very well, considering my score for the SSB here in August was 40% higher than my score in January. So for this CW operator, I take that as a good omen. I operated the Maryland QSO party, activating the Smithsonian Amateur Radio Club qualifying NN3SI, and had a ball with that. And in between or bracketing the Maryland QSO party, I had a Streaky Century Club weekend sprint, which I did very, very well in, even though I only operated part-time. The big excitement this week was the W3LPL Reverse Beacon Network reported on DX Summit, There was Victor Uniform 2 Golf Sierra Mike. Anthony from Bangalore was in on 40 meters about 8 p.m. 2 nights ago, and I was lucky enough to grab him. So the conditions on 40 are very, very interesting. Signals a week, but very, very delighted to make that contact. That's all from here. It was great working all of the PVRCs multiple times on the NAQP. Thank you. Quick comment. Yeah, from my side here, and I saw VUT GSM spotted on 80 meters, and finally, sometime in January, I think it was, there were a couple of nights when he was coming through reasonably well, so I finally put him in the log there, but when you see him spotted, even by someone in the States, it doesn't mean you're going to hear him or work him, for sure, but the persistence paid off on that one.
Yeah. I can't even remember if I've heard of VU2 on 80. That's a great story. Mike, Victor Oscar Papa, nice to hear your voice. Are you still in there?
I'm still here, Jim. Yeah, not a problem. Well, let's see. I did get into the NAQP this past weekend. Then I want to say a week for me. A week ago today, last Tuesday, one of my radio friends, I had radio buddies passed away last Tuesday, and they had for him today. Some of you guys may know him, Brian Fallon, N3MI2. They actually had the service today. I went and I looked at the notice, and it said it was a private service, so I didn't bother trying to go down. But the guy got me into this hobby that I've known for almost 50 years. He actually drove off to North Carolina. He was one of the pallbearers, so he was able to go. He and I met up this afternoon, had a little bit of a lunch and everything else. So it's been a little bit of a down week. That's why my time from NATP is kind of limited. It was hard to get motivated, but I got in the chair, and I think I made about 50 contacts. I actually made a few on 80. I was kind of surprised at that one also. The fact that I kind of hung in there. But hey, it's just like with everything else. We fighting cancer for a year and a half. You just got to keep on trucking no matter heck what. Anyway, thanks again to all the PVRC members that were there this past weekend, and glad that I could help with this for us also. Thanks for your feedback, man.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry if you lost Mike. Thanks for the report, and it's good to hear your voice. I want to check and see whether Tom K3AJ is back on frequency. Okay, any other check-ins for the Potomac Valley Radio Club and FriendsNet WX3B? And I'm going to move it over to Fred, K3 Zulu Oscar. Good evening, Fred.
All right, WX3B and the Nut K3 said, the big news over here is that KC1XX was here yesterday, and I now have a brand new M-squared Orion rotator on my 40-meter beam, which also rotates my 6-meter and 2-meter antenna. So I'm also all set for the AHF contest in September. And I can't complain about the old Telrex rotator. It lasted for 45 years. So, that's a little more than life expectancy for the average rotator, I would think. But anyway, I'm all set with a brand new rotator, working well. And from here, KC186, Matt, he went over to K4ZW, and they've been working all day today and probably work a little bit tomorrow. And so our colleague K4ZW will have a full range of HF antennas, monobanders up on 3 or 4 towers within the next couple of days, and he'll be back in the business on all band DX contesting. One of the interesting little notes with all of this business of the COVID-19, our favorite restaurant, which we've used in the past for the annual PVRC Central Christmas dinner, Topolino in Camp Springs, Maryland, is back in business. we went over to have dinner, AC1XX and his colleague and I, last night. They do serve indoors. You have to wear your mask when you go in. But once you sit down at the table, you can take your mask off and have a regular sit-down indoor dinner once again. So things are improving. WX3B and the net, the K3ZO.
Yeah, that's great. I haven't been to an indoor restaurant and eaten indoors yet, but I've been to plenty of outdoor ones and even more takeout ones. Okay, Tom, NC3Y, good evening.
Hey, this is Tom, NC3Y. Greetings, one and all. And hey, I only live 4 miles from Jeff, N8II, and we trip over each other in every contest. But I try not to compare myself to him because he's got real antennas, and I only have 2 stand dipoles here, so I can put up. But I just do what I can here. I've tried to get into, and I haven't tried, I've been in every major contest thrown NCW this year, to my knowledge, and I was in both NAQPs, and made 223 QSOs in sideband and 312 on CW. I tried to get those going on the sideband. I mean, in January, I'd race up to 100 an hour. I was slamming, but nobody would come back to me on a CQ. So I just searched some paths and had fun. And just had fun. And the CW Open is coming up this weekend. Not this weekend. It's the first weekend of September. So I hope all the CW operators get on. I'm going to jump into that thing and see what I can do. So, hey, we're just having fun here. And back in it, WX3B, this is NC3Y.
Okay, Tom, sounds like you're having a good time, and that's the primary goal, at least for me and I think most of us. K3AJ, Tom, one more try for you. Okay, anybody else want to check into that that hasn't checked in? WX3B.
With a couple of comments.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Okay, was there anyone to check in?
No.
I said a pause for a second. Sorry about that. I was with Enrico's 22 or whatever contact, so I guess when things are going pretty well, things like that happen. And Tom, maybe you should have tried some CQs on 15 meters because 15 was doing really well there around 4 o'clock to 6 or 7 in the evening. It was open from the start up until after dark. But it was really hopping pretty well there around that time. And 20 was as well, of course, but it's a lot more crowded, so you might have more difficulty getting a run going there. And one last other comment, when I started that, I had a very negative contact, a very negative attitude going into the NAQP. I had some noise trouble here, and the noise was there an hour before the contest. It disappeared for the contest. But line noise is pretty fierce about the time here recently, especially bothering 40. And then also, I just kind of fiddled around on 15 and 10 for a while because it was such fun working the bands while they were open. So we could have done better for sure. 73 to off. I've been 8-9.
Okay, Jeff. I'm still in awe of your sideband score. That's incredible. I'd have loved to listen to some of those runs. Let's see. My neighbor. I want to introduce everybody to Jay, KC3EMA, brand new PVRC member. Probably will be spending all of his money and all of his time on radio, much to his chagrin. How you doing, Jay?
I'm doing well, Jim, and you're probably about right. But I'd like to tell everybody, Jim has been definitely a gem to me, helping me get everything together and answering all my questions. And it's really cool that he's just about a mile up the hill from me there. The North American QSO party this weekend was the first contest that I've done basically on my system. I got my general license a couple months ago. COVID kind of forced me to sit in the chair at home and have something to do. I decided to study some general and get it done. Ever since then, I've been an absolute blast on ham radio. I ended up buying myself an Icon 7300. I bought a vertical Hustler vertical antenna, and then Jim
gave my son a few years ago a Wyndham dipole, which I'm talking on now, and that thing's just doing phenomenal. Saturday, I started off on 20 meters for a while. It made a whole lot of contact. So then I dropped to 15 meters. I'm like, wow, this is incredible. I don't think I've ever made so many contacts on 15 meters. It was really clear, not a lot of static. And the thing that I liked about it is there weren't a ton of people down there, so it was real easy to break in any polyps or whatever. So that was fun. I had a whole lot of time doing a whole lot of fun doing that. And then I sort of worked my way up the band as the night went on. But I ended up giving up about 2 o'clock in the morning or so. My wife thinks I'm crazy. Why would I spend that much time trying to make radio contact? But it was just a real blast, and it was just a blast getting to use my own equipment to make those contacts. Looking forward to more contacting and having fun at it. One thing that I do want to start getting into is FT8 or digital contests too. So and FT8 ready. So I'll be looking for some of those contests to get going. So, once again, back to you, Jim, and thanks for the net. I'm going to sign off here. The wife has dinner ready for me. Over.
Yep. Okay. Thanks for joining us. Sorry to keep you from dinner. Tell her I appreciate the leeway there. W3D2, Eric. Good evening. Eric, are you there? Yes.
Eric's there, but he's really weak even here.
Now was definitely those two bands. Also, I did again. And 1420 was particularly my Achilles heel as well. And it was good to see that Roy was on, and we have there are three others in the area extra who have the district who have been actively somewhat unique compared to guys who about looking ahead at the fall contest, we have some major work to do that affect my ability to but I'm feeling good. I'm longer places and having fun. So we've got the medical fund, everything's going as well as expected. So I'm real pleased with that. We're back to you, Jim. WXPD.
Okay, well, I think that last statement was probably the most important one. Congratulations, and that's fantastic on the medical front. I'm glad to hear that. I know there was a rough ride for a long time. WB2 Zulu Alpha Bravo. Hello, Todd. Did you have fun this weekend?
Very well, Mr. Ryan. Jeff, thanks for asking. And I've got the increasing power increase solved thanks to the publications that I did months ago. And I'm in Colesville, Maryland, south of Olney and up from downtown Silver Spring. While I was standing by here, I was looking at my January Q totals, and they were like 900, in the 900 range, and this past weekend was 640. But the biggest mistake, and you know, I've told you what my errors were, was not to, I got so wrapped up in running on 20 meters that I forgot that this contest is more about molts almost than it is about numbers of USOs. And I should have gone up to 15 and 20. I wasn't working assistant, so I didn't have a cluster going or anything like that. And I also figured that DX maps would also be would be an assist of some kind, and that wouldn't be a single operator. That would signal operator. So anyway, I didn't know to go to 15 or 10. I should have just gone there and done it. Picked it up for 2 minutes. Wouldn't have lost anything. The whole drive, to be honest, exactly too, is kind of, you have a span of 2 hours to fool around. Still operate single operator. So anyway, my big problem was I didn't do that. However, what is more important for me anyway, first of all, I want to just say that it's too bad Jeff left because he's pounding in here, M8II, and his neighbor, whose name I forget, and I didn't write down your call. You're also doing very well. And I want to say hi to Jeff. So I also want to congratulate Fred on getting your rotator fixed. And to quote N3OC, the Orion 2800 will turn your house. So I don't think you'll have a problem with that. I don't know what controller box you have, but I got rid of the. Matter of fact, I could have just given it to you, the Orion control box. I went with the green herring control box, and it's been a perfect match. Anyway, congratulations on that, and I know that you had that problem for a while. It's great to have it solved. I'm still playing around with a 27-inch monitor, Apple high definition 27-inch monitor, and I'm just looking for a height replacement. And I think I'm just going to really lower it a whole lot, even more than I already have. But I'm just trying to figure out. It's kind of like when you go and rent a car. When you get in your own car, you get to drive away. You go into a rental car, just the seat 45 times, change the mirror, and all that good stuff. So that's what I'm in the middle of doing here. Is getting the time that you're all set. And NHQP was a real good just try run for me in getting, because I really want to do well in the fall contest. And while I was standing by, I went on Amazon and bought my very first headset. I've never owned a headset in my life. The need for it, especially in contest. With this little wireless keypad that I have, it'll really come together. And I just bought the Yamaha CM500. I don't know if anybody else has that. And if anybody else wants to make comments on that, you can do it in all ears. No problem intended. Anyway, that's all I have. I want to say hi to everybody who's on, and I'll turn it back to Tim. WX3B, WB2.
Yes, my controller is the green heron.
Oh, good for you, Fred. It's a great thing. The Orion rotator and the green heron. It's just beautiful. So good for you.
Yeah. Very good, Todd. And congratulations on the headset. Yep, that should make a big difference. I have a few CM500s here that I've used on various radios. I think you'll like it. That brings me to my old friend Al, K3ZE, from both radio clubs, PVRC and CCARC. How you doing, Al? You still with us?
K3ZE here. Yeah, I'm doing okay, I guess. A lot of medical problems from last year that I will not go into. And, I'm embarrassed to say that I didn't make the contest this weekend. And the main reason was I got tied up with other things. And every time I tried to get on the radio, something else would happen, and I just couldn't do it. So I'm going to throw it back to you guys. Ellen called me pretty soon. So I'll say my 73s, well, I'm still going to be listening until the net closes. WX3B net control, this is Kilo 3 Zulu Echo.
Yeah, okay. It's great to hear you, Al. And sorry about the struggle with the medical problems, but really nice to hear you on the air. And one thing for sure is that there's always another contest for the future. Henry, any other checkers for the Potomac Valley Radio Club net that haven't checked in yet? Whiskey X-Ray 3 Bravo. Yep, Kilo 3 Fox. I got you. Actually, I'm a bundle of only 3 more to go. Anybody else? Who's the zero? Is that you, Tom? I know we have a remote station trying to check in. Who was the portable? Who was the other station trying to check in?
W3TOM, portable 0.
Okay, W3TOM, Portable 0. That's cool. Okay, Tom, I got you. Anybody else? All right, I was told that K3A Jason his regards. He's operating remote, and I didn't give him enough breathing room to breathe in. Sorry about that. M3 Hotel Echo Echo in South Carolina, Joe. How you doing? Is N3HE Joe still on frequency?
No wonder he's weak here.
What was that, Jeff?
No wonder he was so weak. I didn't realize has he moved to South Carolina?
Yes, he has, and he loves it.
Okay.
And for Mike, John, good evening.
Okay, this is November for Mike. I'm sorry a little bit late, but I was coming here at the same time this can start and local radio club, so I need to check into that one. Anyway, what's been going on here? Not too much. I'm still fighting through the medical issues. Nothing serious, but enough to be a nuisance, that's for sure. I guess that's what happened. Yesterday I turned 83 years old, so I guess I'm pretty good considering 2/3 of my high school passing out of seat. Anyway, we can get on a little bit to the NAQP phone. I didn't have a lot of time on it. Can't sit too long periods of time. I get cramps. Had 153 contacts. Unlike Jeff with the Maryland Care so far, I made 19 contacts in that. They're just hard to find. There's no activity at all. And like Jeff said, that summary sheet, that is the most convoluted piece of crap I ever saw in my life. The Virginia Care so far is so much simpler to operate, that's for sure. What else I got here today? On the virus thing up here, most of the restaurants in Clark County are open for indoor dining. So far, Clark County's only had 74 cases of this stuff, 8 in the hospital, and 0 deaths. So we're a really small county here, and the stuff hasn't gotten here yet. I hope it doesn't get here, and whatnot. And we're part of the Lower Fairfax District, which covers Winchester, Frederick County, Clark, Warren, Page, and Shenandoah County. So that's what they report on in the paper. Still waiting for August CQ. I understand a lot of people have gotten theirs. I never have gotten mine. I was laying in a post office someplace where I was due to Trump or what's going on. I think it was sent Rich most of it. I'll email tomorrow and ask you if he can send me another copy of that magazine. About 40 meter antennas. We came down in that big thunderstorm, and I haven't been able to put it back up. I can't climb anymore. And so maybe I wanted the local guys, come over and stick it back up for me. The wire is right now is up about 15 feet just to get out of the driveway, but it should be up about 50 feet. And what else here? Oh yeah, I have a whole bunch of NCJs and regular sports magazines. When that CE3 guy used to do it in Canada. I hate some way, but I got so many of them. I'm cleaning out around here. When you get to my age, you start looking at things differently. Trying to get rid of some of these magazines are anywhere from 15 to 30, 35 years old. Like some of the original ones. Anybody wants them, come and get them because they're going by next week. They're going to the dump. You can't do anything else with them. So anyway, Fred, K30, I found a national Capital DX Club newsletters and meeting notices and minutes and stuff from the early years of the club back when I joined it back in '73. And I need to pass that on to you so you can keep it in the file. Because if I would have to go belly up here, the stuff will be thrown in the tray. So next time we get together, I don't know where the hell that'll be, but I'll give you that book. I'll lay it at your side. And what else is going on? Oh yeah, tomorrow, August the 19th, will be actually 68 years as a licensed ham. I got licensed in August the 19th, in 1952. So it's been around a long time. The last 2 more years, I get that QCWA 7-year pin. Anyway, other than that, I think I've covered all the waterfronts. I can add in for them.
That's great, John. Did you say you turned 82?
83.
83. Okay. I don't want to miss a year. Congratulations. That's awesome. And what are the magazines? I did miss the magazines that you're giving away so I can advertise them.
Okay, NCJ. You know what that is?
Yep.
And Radio Sports. That is a magazine DE3, what is his name? Up in Canada, the DE3, or whatever the hell he sells on it. A whole bunch of those. I had about 150 auto calls, still figures. Then these WebCT came by, he picked up the auto calls, the Sparkette Times, and the Virginia Ham newsletters. I had close to 400 pounds of newsletters in the basement. I just got to clean this stuff out. I haven't got to the QSCs yet. There's probably 70 years of QSCs down there at least. So I've been licensed 68 years, and I picked up some back in the 40s or 30s. I even have an original 1914 QSC, not a reprint of Rowan. And some guy offered me $2,000 for it. I'm like, consider selling it. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, that's not a Radio Shack, that's a library. All right, well, it's good to hear you, John, and happy birthday. Now we gotta turn it over to Pat, Kilowatt 3 Fox. Good evening.
Yes, my neighbor down in Chatham a couple of times. My body quit at about 11:30. I'm not going to see it till 2. But now I got to figure out how to get my memory to stay in one end and doesn't want to display the log, and I don't know exactly what's going on with that. But I'm worried about taking the deadline to get it into 3830. But I'm having struggles here. This radio's over 30 years old. Players don't have the money to get into it, so I guess there's some healthy over.
Yeah, okay, very good. Well, if you can email me what you're having trouble with, I can try to remote help, or at least get you to submit your log to me so I can submit it to the contest sponsor.
I don't know what it is, because all I know is it shows me a blank log, but it doesn't tell me anything about, I don't know whether I should have saved my work, which is something I probably should have done in the first place, but I don't even know where it is. And I'm not exactly sure where to begin with it, Jim. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know what to do.
Okay. I'll send you something to try. It's a swing for the fences, but you never know. All right. Well, it's good to hear you, Pat. Thanks for checking in. And I'm going to turn it over to our DX station, W3TOM Portable Zero, Tom.
Yeah, good evening, Jim. Good evening to the net. This is Tom, W3TOM Portable Zero here in Denver, Colorado tonight. Just want to check in and say hello to all these fairly familiar voices. We came out to Denver for the area board of directors meeting over the weekend. An excellent batch of meetings. It really went well. And a little smoky out here in Denver with all the wildfires, but other than that, it's always a pleasure to be here. I saw Fred's story about W3TRA, and I tell you, Fred, you have got the most incredible stories. Well, I'm gonna bound these up and make a book. I've been saving all your propagation reports and contest reports. These stories are just amazing. Neat, especially anytime you mention W3 America United. I know. But just want to check in, Jim, say hi, and hope everyone's staying healthy out there. And we'll be heading back east here shortly. So back to net, W3TOM Portable Zero, Denver, Colorado. Over.
Okay, Tom. Well, just for clarity, your transfer's not Denver, Colorado, just you, right?
Yeah, that is absolutely correct. My transmitter is actually in Maryland. So, yeah, we're out here in the boat coach. We'll be heading back east shortly. W3TOM Portable Zero. Over.
Okay, that sounds nice. Very good. Okay, did I miss anybody in this list? Okay, does anybody else want to check in that didn't check in for the PVRC net?
Kilo Quebec 3 Whiskey.
King Queen 3 Whiskey. Nice call sign. How you doing? This is Jim, WX3B.
Pretty good. Per our conversation during NAQP, I told you I'd try to check in, and since you decided to MC, I figured I would. I put in just under 100 for NAQP. Didn't get home until about 7:30 and turned the radio on, and 10 meters was open, so I think my first 8 contacts in the log were from there. But I just got finished cutting the graphics, so I just clicked the radio on a couple minutes ago. But anyway, I figured I'd check in and say hi, and see how things were going. Kilo Quebec 3 whiskey, whiskey X-ray 3 Bravo.
All right. Well, you might tell everybody what your old call sign was, since you got a fancy new one. Anyway, it's great to hear you. It was good to hear you in the contest, and I'm glad you could join.
Old call was Whiskey 3 Mike Bravo Charlie, and hi to everybody on the net. I don't know who's on. Like I said, I just turned the radio on, but hope everybody's doing well. Back to you, Jim.
You know, we can't have it. Maryland's best contact.
What was that, Jeff?
I said, no, there's no Maryland's best contact.
Somebody will come in to replace, I guess.
W3 Maryland Broadcasting Company. Well, we'll come up with some clever phonetics for King Queen 3 Willie. That sounds an awful lot like King Queen 2 Mexico, doesn't it?
Who was that one?
Okay. Well, does anybody else have any announcements or things they'd like to share?
NAII is announcing I've submitted the log, and I thought the deadline, I think the deadline for CW and AQP is 7 days, but you can correct me if I'm wrong about that. It's only 5 days for phone.
I don't know the answer to that. I just know that it's 5 days for phone.
Yeah, I think AC0W runs it, and he does a different deadline.
Yep. I actually had a nice little rag show with AC0W. He's been doing that administration for a long time. Nice guy, Bill. All right. Anybody else? In that case, the formal net is ended. Thank you one and all for the great turnout. Thank you for your NAQP enthusiasm. And everybody have a good night and a good week from Whiskey X-Ray 3 Bravo.
Everybody 3. So, guys, all we're supposed to do is well this year. Next year, as you did this year in the NAQP, let's put in a lot more effort because we had some fantastic conditions at NAII.
I don't think I honestly can't remember when I ever heard 20 meters when I was operating that good.
Well, I was doing okay in the early evening for a while, but I think the activity was spread out over so many bands that I've had better times before, Jim, as far as rate goes on 20. But it was really good on 15 at times, not for that long, and 10 was worth operating for sure.
What is your peak? You said you had a rate of over 200. Was that on 40?
Not over 200. It took me an hour and 13 minutes to hit 200 contacts, and I started at about around midnight Zulu was the first time I was down on 40.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I had some really good rates on 20. I was only on for about 3 hours, but I actually got off it when I had an hour that was 183. I think it was my second hour. And I had to move to 50. I was late in the contest because of my 4-hour break. And I had to move to the other bands or else. But I don't know. I'm not sure how much better I would have done with those extra 3.5 hours. I was pretty happy with the score that I had.
Okay. Well, I noticed you didn't operate the whole time. So you started, what time did you start?
I started at 2. I took a break at 4:15, and then I came home at I don't know 6 something or whatever the time was to make up the 8.5 hours. So I missed a few hours in the middle of the day where I probably would have been bouncing back and forth between 10 and 15.
Okay, yeah, the late afternoon, the first time I went to 15 at about 19 Zulu, I wasn't impressed by the activity level, and then at about like 4:30 p.m. or so, it was much, much better. People were, I finally woken up to the fact the bay was open there, and then the casual guys were moving up there and pray for it.
Yeah, I was surprised how good 40 was, and I was also surprised how I couldn't do Dipsy Doodle on 80. Usually 80 is a good band for me.
The absorption was high. The range was limited on 80 and 160 for sure. The noise level was nice and low on 80, and I worked very few zeros on 80. I wasn't on there really late, but even Illinois, when the first time I was on, which was about 9:30 at night, even Illinois seemed to be a little bit of a stretch.
Did you post your 30 report so I can see how you did?
No, but 80 was 194 and 33.
Yeah, okay, I should look at my, I'll look at, I'll wait for you to post it, I'll take a look. How many Qs did you have on 20?
432 and 51, and if I was really serious about it, it would have been 500. But I was playing around on 15 and 10. But the first hour is where I really would have done better elsewhere.
Yeah, I would, that's good. Okay, well, good. At least I can say, well, you squashed me like a bug. At least I beat you on 20.
Well, yeah, they get a really good signal on 20, that's for sure. And about 7 to 8 in the evening, there I think there was plenty of activity on 20, and you could work the West Coast guys and the guys in really close with nice strong signals. So you couldn't ask for much more than that. And did you? I just wonder how many people called you off the side of the beam there up in New York and New England. That there was a stretch of about 15 minutes or 20 when I got a lot of calls in that direction.
Yeah, I actually had a continuous stream of people calling me from the wrong side of the antenna. At one point in time, I turned the beam further south because so many people were calling me from down south. And I used that trick on 15 meters too. At 20, it almost didn't seem to matter where I put the antenna. I heard Echo Alpha 5 Delta Fox Major call me off the back of the beam, and it was like 3 in the morning his time.
Oh yeah, I worked him very late in the day too. It was probably like 2 in the morning his time or something like that when he called me. And he wasn't cheaper though, but GM8OQB, I think it was. Let me type in the call here. OQF, GM8OQF called me at 2345 Zulu, and he was over S9 with my beam west, and I have a 2-element Yagi pointed south. And when I switched to that, he was like 15 dB or better over 9.
Was this on 20 or 40?
On 20.
Yeah, I heard that he was low on 42. Did you work Steve Bloom, KL7SB?
Yes, believe it or not, I worked Steve Bloom on 10 meters this year. In June, he was on, there was a sporadic opening on 10. I couldn't believe it. That was the first Alaskan I've worked probably in 5 or 6 years on 10 meters.
In NAQP?
No, in June. It was about 20 Zulu in June one day. It was an opening. He was about S5, and he heard me immediately. There was no trouble getting through.
Yeah, boy, that's great. IWX3B, boy, that's it. Yeah, the only good tall tale I have about 10 meters is that there was a very quiet band one day with the band scope absolutely blank when LY4A and I decided to test out his new 4-antenna H-frame. He was the only signal on the band, and he was quite loud.
Oh, well, that's good. He's a good operator. He really does well in the the European with the European competition there, and I think he's one of the two radio alternating TQ guys, correct?
I don't know how much of that he does right now because I do know he's suffering from some hearing loss in one ear. I've been sort of tracking that, but he's a really nice guy. And when he's done with that H frame that he's building, he's going to have 8 10-meter Yagis.
That's a few too many. These are relatively short wavelengths, or it's going to be like a razor beam. It's not going to be as useful a contest as he'd like it to be, Jim. But the antennas at N3HBX is in my opinion a 2-0, especially on 10, David.
Yeah, okay. Well, they are relatively short boom antennas. I did notice that. I think they're like the equivalent of the antenna that I have, which is a 24-foot boom. It might be a little bit longer than that. But it'll be sharp. But when he points that thing to the U.S., you're going to hear him. I remember Crassy put one of those things up for one season when at the top of the sunspot cycle, and he used it to win the 10-meter contest.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. Okay, well, my little old 5-element motivators here, Jim. I need to replace the feed line on 20. I'm sure I'm losing a few dB because of the feed line, and I'll probably get that done before the weather gets cold. So that's about all from here. One other thing, I've experimented around on 40 for years, and I've never had anything that worked all that well. But I had a quad loop with the top of it at about 75 feet or so, and that worked pretty well when the solar flux went higher. But it seemed to really start getting worse, and I just replaced it with a dipole, and hung from the same supports. About the average height maybe 70 to 75 feet on my dipole, and it works significantly better than what the quad leaf did most of the time, baby.
Yeah, 40 meters is probably my worst span here. Even with the 2-element Yagi, it's just not mounted in the right place at the right height. But when I beam west, I have no complaints. It's the Europe that it doesn't hear quite as well as it should. Anyway, well, it's good chatting with you. What an amazing NAQP score. That was with one radio, too, wasn't it?
Yes, one radio and one non-motivated. I was non-motivated at first. And then I thought to myself, it was getting later at night there. I was a little tired, and I said, gee, as good as band conditions are, somebody says there's going to be probably a lot of really huge scores. But I think the guys out west sucked eggs. They really didn't have much of a 15-meter opening, and nothing on 10. I worked out beyond one hop, Jim. So even on 15, it was a lot worse shouting than what I thought it would be out to the west coast. I did get a few multipliers, but no real volume there. So
I've seen the 3830 reports by the West Coast, and they were just stymied that we were working the Midwest and they couldn't hear them.
Yeah, well, it happens, and today, if you check DX maps, you get a lot of useful info. Lately, there's been more. It seems like there's more West Coast openings than there have been East Coast. So we were really lucky that it was the other way around for the contest.
Well, it was definitely one for the record books. It was a good, really good one to be in, and it was a thrill to hear the high bands open for the short period of time that I was able to use them. I saw they were open when I came back, but I figured I had to get to 20 by then. I probably, in retrospect, I should have gotten a whole bunch of easy multipliers if I pounced my way around 10 and 15 for 10 minutes before I sat down for that 20-meter run, but didn't think about it. That goes into the coulda, woulda, shoulda category.
Well, I would have spent a lot more time on 40 if I really thought I had a chance of doing well. I really slated 40. My final number was 235 by 39, and I didn't go to 40 until it was 20. I just looked at it. 28 Zulu was 29 Zulu was my first contact on 40, and it took a little over an hour to hit the probably. I'd have to double check that. I might have made 200 in an hour there. I'll have to double check that.
Yeah, well, I think it wouldn't be hard to do. You're really limited by how fast your callers can respond and how quickly you can put them in the log without asking for repeats. I thought I was having a great hour, like a 250 hour. It was, by the time I ended it, it was nothing near 250.
Well, yeah, it's hard to tell sometimes, but the first half hour I was really picking out a lot of calls in the first instant. When there would be a bunch of people calling, and I was doing really well with picking out the calls. And then as the really experienced and good audio guys were kind of filtered down, well, it already been worked, so they got a little bit more difficult to pick people up, and they were more equal in strength too. And then what else was it? Let's see something else there about it. Oh yeah, there were times that there was a 2 or 3 people calling underneath of the people I was working, and they were weak enough they didn't really cause any trouble.
Yeah, there were several times where I couldn't keep up with the pileup, and that never ever happens when you have a simple exchange. It rarely happens. And then of course, if you don't get them on the second call, they spin the dial and you miss them. Who knows for how long? It was one for the record books. It was really enjoyable. Just like this QSO. It was time for me to go from house 1 to house 2, Jeff. Inning probably the longest ranks we've ever had. WX3B.
Okay, but Elizabeth around, I'm surprised she didn't want to help you in this one.
I forget, she had plans all day Saturday, but yeah, this is a contest she normally does with me. Maybe the next one, maybe the next one, she's the
measuring that on my meter here. And this is a ladder that's fed dipole at about an average height of 65 feet or so, something like that. 65 to 60, somewhere in there. It's one end is on the tower, the other end is only at about 28 feet high. The rope is 28 feet high. The antenna is higher than that.
You'll be glad to know that on the spectrum scope, looking at a 200 kilohertz swath of the band, there's one signal louder than the others, and that signal is an 8II.
Okay, Tim. Well, you're doing very well there. I wasn't hearing W4EDH on it. Well, I could copy most of them, but I think some other people were hearing him better, probably a little closer in. And then Eric, I think he had some kind of a problem there. He was really weak at first, and he came up about at the end there. I guess he saw the same thing.
Yeah, I didn't hear him for the first few seconds, but then when I unkeyed, I heard him, and then he got loud.
He didn't really get loud, and his audio, maybe it's the headset not being adjusted quite right or something, but his audio wasn't it wasn't, it could use a little bit more range or something there. It wasn't real great audio, I thought. Okay, have a good night, Tim. Nice to chat, and we're headed upstairs. I noticed you in the boat in the Kenora State Park. Do you own that boat, Eric?
That wasn't me. That was Steve Sluzz's boat, November Yankee 3 Alpha.
Okay. Understand. Well, we were up at Cowan's Gap today, Cowan's Gap State Park. It's west of Chambersburg, PA. Do you know where Chambersburg is?
Yeah, I actually know where Cowan's Gap is. The neighbors, when we were up at Kenora State Park camping, our neighbor next to us had just gotten back from Cowan's Gap.
Okay. Well, it's a beautiful setting. It's a man-made lake and a bowl, and it's not that big of a lake. I'm sure Kedoras is bigger. And we were up to Bald Eagle State Park north of State College a couple of years ago, and that's a huge lake there. It goes on for miles, but it's a mile and a half on the hike around the lake at Cowan's Gap, and there's a mountain on the west side of the lake, significantly higher than the lake, and just a little bit of a hill on the other side. But you're kind of in a bowl. It goes up in all directions from the lake, except where the dam is located, of course. Okay, take care. 73 from 8II.
All right, yeah, I'm looking forward to doing a trip to Cowan's Gap, and then we have probably another trip coming up to Ohio, Pennsylvania in the mountains, so I think they have a lake nearby. Well, hello to Kilo Bravo 3, Charlie Sierra, and November 8, India Victor November, who are listening to us from a remote site and sending me texts of ourselves. Good night, Jeff.
Okay, take care, 73, and hi to Dennis.
WX3B, Kilo Delta 2, Papa Delta.
Yeah, Katie, Papa Golf, and Juliet, or something close to that for a short hello. This is Tim. How you doing?
Quick hello. You have Jim here in Central New Jersey running barefoot on a vintage TS 450S Kenwood, pushing 90 watts right now. Over.
Yeah, Jim, it sounds great. You're actually 10 over 9 with a whole bunch of attenuation to stop the static crashes. And let's see, it was only a few years ago. Well, okay, it was more than a few years ago. I used to have a Kenwood 440S.
I do like the rig. I just took it apart, cleaned it up. I bought it used, added some filters, worked on it a little bit. Make sure it's getting out. I'm using the stock mic, and it seems like you can give me a good report. I appreciate that. You have some beautiful audio here to New Jersey. Just a nice down over.
Yeah, thanks for the report. I appreciate that. It took me a few microphones to get this somewhat high frequency but reasonably good audio sound. And your radio sounds great. A lot of nice, good pass band of frequencies, including sharp high end. So whatever you're doing, don't change it.
I guess I got it right. No, do get it right. I'm setting to a vertical ground 44 foot up, but I put a lot of wire in the ground at 500 feet.
Yeah, you gotta have radio somewhere. Well, that's great. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed this is vertical. It's got a good signal here, Jim. Well, thanks for the short QSO. Good evening from Tawnytown, Maryland, and we'll do it again. Whiskey X-Ray 3 Bravo. down the road from here. Yeah, you too. Thanks a lot. 73.
KD0 AKD. WB0 KA0 JWA. KD0 AKD. Call. KD0 AKD out.
TH3. KA0JWA. Anybody around? KD0AKD. Call.
B08, KA0JW, anybody around? KD0AKD. KD0AKD out. Okay.